Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're looking at a messy list of numbers and wondering what on earth to do with them, right? Well, today we're going to transform you from a rookie into a master data detective. This is absolutely crucial for your 11 plus maths preparation, and we're going to learn how to investigate those numbers like a true pro. Okay, let's just dive right in by stepping inside the magical headquarters of EduMargic. Think of this place as our official data detective agency headquarters. This is the spot where young minds come to really master logic and solve some seriously complex mathematical mysteries. Because, it's not just about crunching numbers, it's about uncovering the hidden stories inside that data. And to do that, well, you need the right tools. So, let's crack open our very first evidence file. Imagine 5 kids just played a game, and they scored these exact points: 8, 10, 12, 12, and 18. Now, if I asked you right on the spot who was the absolute best player, you'd probably point straight to the kid who scored 18, right? I mean, it's the biggest number. But hold on a second. What if we actually want to know what the typical player scored? Or maybe the most common score? Best can actually mean a lot of different things depending on how we look at the evidence. And that brings us to our first phase, the data detective mystery. Let's meet our very first investigator. This is Detective Mean, the fair sharer. Now, what's really fascinating here is that our 4 investigators will all look at the exact same evidence file, but they're going to solve completely different mysteries. Detective Mean, for example, is this incredibly generous investigator who always wants to make sure everyone gets an absolutely equal amount. So say one kid has 10 chocolates, another has 2, and a third has 8. Detective Mean steps in with a really simple 2-step plan. Step 1, gather all those chocolates into one giant pile by adding them together. So 10 plus 2 plus 8 equals 20. Step 2, divide that big pile equally by the total number of kids, which is 3. So we divide 20 by 3. Even if it gives us a kind of tricky fraction, the goal is always to figure out what it takes to make things perfectly fair. So here's the absolutely crucial point you need to memorize for your exams. Whenever a question asks you to find the mean, just remember, mean means to share fair. Pool it all together, slice it up equally. It's literally the ultimate equalizer of the data world. Moving right along, let's meet our strict investigator, Detective Median, the Q-Boss. Now, the Q-Boss, they only care about order. They want everything neatly lined up in a perfectly organized line, from the smallest number to the largest, no exceptions whatsoever. And look, here's the absolute biggest mistake rookies make when trying to think like Detective Median. Say you've got the numbers 15, 8, 10, 4, and 12. You might be tempted to just guess that 10 is the middle number just because, well, it's sitting right there in the center. But no way. The Q-Boss demands that you put them in order from smallest to largest first, so you got to rewrite them: 4, 8, 10, 12, 15. Only then can you find the true exact middle number. It actually is 10 in this case, but now we know it for sure because we followed the rules. So, the golden rule for the Q-Boss is our second memory trick. Say it with me. Median simply equals middle. But remember that silent rule, okay? It's the middle only after they are standing in a perfectly ordered queue. All right, now let's uncover the modem range secrets. You are officially halfway to becoming a master data investigator. Let's build up that toolkit. Enter Detective Mode. So Detective Mode is basically the popular kid. They don't care about sharing, and they definitely don't care about standing in the middle of a line. Detective Mode is essentially a trend spotter. They're always tracking down the number, or, even the ice cream flavor, like chocolate, that shows up the most often in your evidence file. If a number appears more times than any other, Detective Mode crowns it the absolute winner. Meanwhile, our fourth and final investigator, Detective Range, is more of the outdoorsy type. Range measures how far apart things are. Think of it like looking at a mountain range. Say you have a small mountain with a height of 5 and a really tall mountain with a height of 18. Detective Range simply subtracts the smallest mountain from the tallest mountain to find the distance between them. So 18 minus 5 gives us a difference of 13. So when you think of range, think about measuring the distance between 2 extremes. Our memory trick here is that Range is always looking for the gap. It literally tells us just how spread out our evidence file really is. Now, let's put them all to work with 1 case, 4 answers. Let's look at one specific example to really tie this all together. We have the numbers 4, 6, 6, 8, and 11. Let's see what happens when the whole agency investigates this one file. This brilliantly illustrates our entire explainer. Detective Mean adds them all up to 35, divides by 5, and gets 7. Detective Median lines them up. They're actually already in order here and finds the middle is 6. Detective Mode sees that the number 6 appears the most often. And Detective Range takes the biggest, 11, minus the smallest, 4, to get a gap of 7. Do you see that? Every single detective gives a completely different answer because they are asking a totally different question about the exact same numbers.
All right, your basic training is officially complete. It's time for the final data challenge. 5 seconds per case. Let's go.
Question 1. Can you find the fair share for these 5 numbers? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Remember the rule. Add them all up and divide by how many there are. You've got 5 seconds on the clock. Did you get it? Well, if you add them all up, you get 25. Divide that by the 5 numbers, and the answer is 5. Great job if you cracked that one. Moving right along to question 2. Act like the Q boss. Find the median of 2, 8, 5, 4, 6. But hey, remember your golden rule before you pick the middle. Go. Time's up. Wait, you didn't just pick 5 because it was printed right there in the middle, did you? You had to put them in order first. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. And once they are lined up correctly, the true middle piece of evidence is 5. Question 3. Calling detective mode. Which number is the most popular in this sequence? 9, 2, 9, 5, 7. This one should be super quick. And the answer is 9. Yup, the number 9 appears twice while all the others only show up once, making it the clear winner here. Fantastic work. Okay, before we give you your final assignment, I really want you to lock this super memory trick into your brain forever. If you take anything away from this explainer today, make it this. Mean shares equally, median stands in the middle, mode is most popular, and range finds the gap. Seriously, memorize that sentence, and you will literally never be confused by these terms on a test ever again. And now, for your graduation, here is the ultimate 11 plus challenge. Your evidence file is 8, 4, 6, 6, 11. If you can pause this explainer right now and correctly find the mean, median, mode, and range for this final set, you are officially thinking like an 11 plus math champion. Take your time, work it out, and drop a comment below saying, I am a data detective if you cracked the case. But before you go, think about this. If you were a data detective reporting to the police, which of these 4 methods do you think tells the most truthful story about a set of numbers? Is the average always the most honest answer? Keep practicing your logic, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.